Okay, I think we're good. So give us like a 3, 2, 1, and then I think we'll be alright.
Alright, 3, 2, 1.
Actually, hang on. Because I was thinking of something funny to do. I don't know if I want to do it or not. I was going to be making like a coffee joke and then spitting it back in or something. Alright, so. Okay, now we're good.
Alright, 3, 2, 1.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Cyberside Chats. Took a little hiatus there, but we're back in action, trying to come back on a one-to-one, or start over. If we mess up early, it's good enough to like start over.
Yeah.
Try and come
might as
back
well.
on a once a week type basis. Okay, alright, we're good.
Alright, 3, 2, 1.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to Cyberside Chats. We took a little hiatus, but we are back with our main intention of coming to you on a once-a-week basis. I've got with us our guest, new intern, Sam Senziak. Give us a little bit about yourself, Sam. Where are you from? What are you doing here? How you liking it?
I'm from Buffalo, New York, and thanks for having me, Joe. It's great to be here, and I'm excited to learn about data and cyber, and let's get it rolling.
Yeah, I like it. So we've given you the gist of the show before. Today we're going to try and keep it a little casual, and then from a week-to-week basis, we're going to introduce our subjects to come from the following week. So you can give a little anticipation, little cliffhangers, if you will. Today we're just going to discuss a few things that we've been talking about in the office, one of which was augmented reality. For those of you who aren't aware of what augmented reality is, going to the sheet here for a little cheat, but it's a technology that superimposes people's image, giving essentially a real-world composite view. So it's essentially putting a face on something else, making something look like it's there if it's really not. One of the things that was trending, yesterday, this morning, was the topic of deepfaking, and I didn't really know what it was, but the article I read made it seem like it kind of should, as it's been out there. When I first saw it, so I'll give you the explanation of what it was that we saw this morning. It was Zuckerberg's face, right? Like It was a video he had recorded, I think a year or two ago, and it was his mouth, his face, everything moving, and it seemed like it was someone else's voice. But it looked very real. Like if you were to just sit there and watch the video, it's like the words go to the lips go to the words, everything lines up, but the voice was a little off today. Yeah. But it gave you a sense of like, this is going to be a pretty real thing in the future. Like, people are going to be able to essentially create videos of whomever they want, saying whatever they want. So, it was pretty funny. Like I said, like, if you're sitting there watching it, you can point out the imperfections, but, like, you got a little buzz going on or something, you're watching this on Instagram. Yeah, it's like, hey, what the, like, Trump just said what? Like, it kind of reminded me, you've seen the videos, like, where they do like the lip sync or the dubbing over like the NFL players and the huddles, and they're just saying everything. Like, I was watching it. That's kind of what I felt like I was watching. But again, you pay attention right now, it's pretty noticeable. I think you give it a little longer, it's gonna be pretty hard to tell what's real and what's not. And that's what some of the stuff that they were saying out there is like the issue. Come election time, that was something we saw. They're saying who's gonna know what. Getting a little interruption here, but who's gonna know what what's real, who's saying what can they use for blackmail versus what's real? I think that that's a little hypersensitive, because to do that, to take somebody in a political campaign and to put words in their mouth, like, you could do some serious jail time for that if you get caught. I don't know. What's your opinion on the whole deep faking?
Well, to your point with elections, I could definitely see that being an issue. Especially we saw with the last one, and just Facebook and uninformed people watching these, but definitely could be funny. And as we see with movies, if something happens, someone can't be there, could
right, yeah.
be cool.
We talked about that earlier, like Fast and Furious. We said Paul Walker, he died before the movie finished filming, and they had to do something. They weren't going to cut his role entirely when they'd filmed half the movie already. So I think there's going to be ways that it certainly benefits. And then I think there's going to be ways that certainly spark controversy. So we'll have to stay tuned for what's to come. But it kind of reminded me, it's just like technology's everywhere. It's like a little bit of like the Black Mirror thing. I know you guys said you hadn't watched it, but I'm sure a lot of people out there have. Black Mirror takes, it's an analogy series, which essentially has a new story, new set of characters every series, and Don't quote me on that, but that's the type of series it is. New characters, new storylines, and it focuses on technology within every storyline. And it just made me think of, there was an episode where if someone wants to like block you out of their life, everyone has like a piece of technology augmented inside of them, and it blurs the person from your point of view, and it muffles anything that they say or that you say to them. So it's essentially just like a social media platform, but in real life, like an ex-girlfriend you don't want bothering you anymore, you block, and in real life, there's just literally nothing you can do. So it's a modern day restraining order, if you will. So I don't know. I'm so new school. Like, I'm all for technology. I think I have every piece of every Apple equipment known to man. I think, I've got 10 Alexa Echoes laying around my house. I'm all for it all. But like, there's going to be a time where like it certainly backfires a little bit. I mean, there's got to be some issues to come with how smart we are nowadays. Do you utilize any of that stuff, like Alexa or anything like that?
I don't have an Alexa. I don't even really use Siri
on my
iPhone, but
so it's kind of old school versus new school. The old guy is more new school than the young guy. I like it. But yeah, so essentially, like we said, the future's here. We just got, we were joking too about the deep faking. There was a Trump video where he removed his hat, and it was essentially a video Photoshop, but it could be considered deep faking, where it took his head and made it completely bald and caused a very big ruckus amongst is Trump's hair real or fake community. So another thing we just wanted to touch base on, we had seen over the last few weeks, Apple was ridding of iTunes. Now, I don't have a whole lot of detail into what it's going to mean for your actual phone and for current subscription users. Do you utilize any subscriptions for music on your phone currently?
I do. I have Apple Music currently.
Okay.
And I listen to Apple Podcasts, but I can't remember the last time I bought an individual song or album on iTunes.
No, couldn't agree more. Same. When people tell me they still buy music, it kind of makes me chuckle.
Yeah, my dad buys music. He wanted an iTunes gift card for Father's Day, and I was like, I don't know if they sell those, or do they still sell those?
Right. Everything's becoming as obsolete. Like DVDs 10 years ago were the hot commodity. Now, if you pull out a DVD, you kind of get laughed at type thing. So, but I utilize, most people I ask are on team Spotify. I feel like we're the outcast season because I use Apple Music as well. And with regards to iTunes kind of phasing out, I'm interested to see what it's going to do. I also have an Amazon Prime membership, and their music platform is incredible now as well. It used to be a little bit behind everything. The newest of the new music wouldn't come out, when Apple released it, but now it's up to par with everything else. And if this phases out to some extent that like it's a new download or a new subscription, I worry for what Apple's going to have to do to regain or continue to hold that customer base that they currently have. So it'll be interesting to see when it actually happens. They said that I think I read it was for a desktop operating system, Mac OS Catalina is what's replacing iTunes. I don't know if this is specific to desktop. Probably should have had a little information, but we're just talking, so we'll see. And we're going to follow up on it next week, and maybe some people out there have some comments for us. But yeah, we talk about iTunes and Amazon pretty regularly on here, and I expect it to continue as they are the tech powerheads. Another thing that we had seen recently was the partnership of Xbox and PlayStation with regards to a cloud-based computing system and gaming system. This was a big surprise to me. I'm not personally a big gamer. When I was a kid, my parents didn't let me have any because they knew I'd be addicted to it and would essentially be, useless to anything but gaming. But are you a gamer, or do you own a system? Do you have a preference if you did?
I'm not a gamer. I was back in the day.
Yeah.
I think the last system I had was a PlayStation 3.
Okay.
So they're on the PlayStation 4 now.
Yeah, so that's still relevant.
Yeah,
you're not too far back. What was your best or your favorite game?
I was a Call of Duty guy.
Yeah.
The zombies.
Okay.
That was my thing.
Nice. I like it. I played Call of Duty recently, actually. And again, like I said, I'm not much of a gamer, but I certainly played my fair share back in the day. Everyone in their college dorm room had their buddies with NHL, NBA, whatever it was. NHL 07 was always my number one game on PlayStation 2. So a bit dated, but I'm loyal to it. So, it was a big surprise as Xbox and PlayStation are, as big a rivals as Coke and Pepsi, McDonald's and Burger King. So it was pretty cool to see them actually kind of find a way to mesh heads on this. And this is, again, I'm bringing back Black Mirror, and I'm not even a big fan of this show. I just recently started to kind of get into it. The newest season was released. There's an episode of with Miley Cyrus, and in her episode, they have a little moving robot that's essentially similar to an Amazon Alexa or Echo. It responds to you, it picks up on your quirks, your whatever, and it's a little more modern and updated. Obviously, it's got the TV aspect to it, but there's another episode with it's the guy from the Avengers. Can't remember his name. Either way, not all that relevant, but it's a gaming system that you place a little chip or something on your head, and it takes you in just like a very, very modern VR type technology. Like you're living it, you're feeling it, you're essentially in the Matrix. And this cloud gaming thing just kind of had me thinking of it, and like, what's our gaming system gonna get to? I think it's very cool that two different operating systems are finding a way to allow their gamers to play together. So it's like a matter of if you have NHL 19 on one system or the other, you can play against each other, which I think is very cool.
Yeah. And that was the big conundrum with the friend group. Are
right.
we going to get the PlayStation or the Xbox when it comes out?
Exactly. When I was a kid, again, I didn't have anything, but I was always like a PlayStation groupie. Everyone I knew had the PlayStation, so I was kind of team PlayStation. But there's not a real big difference, so I don't know. Xbox is Microsoft. Mm-hmm. Microsoft rules all. If you're not Microsoft, Apple, or Amazon these days, who are you? So it's nice. I think that was a big thing for the gaming community, and we'll have to get some gaming nerds on here at some point to talk to us about what they think of it. Trying to think if we had anything else really, up to date and relevant that we wanted to discuss aside from the PlayStation. There was, I'm going to read from here pretty directly because I don't, know the entirety of the story. But there was an over a $40 million worth of cryptocurrency. 7,000 Bitcoin were stolen in a large-scale breach. I don't know if you knew anything about this, but I had done some research on some recent hacks. WannaCry was one that I had specifically looked into. And again, I'm going to relate to TV because I'm a TV nerd. I'm very new school. I prefer video over text. I'm one of those guys. I still like to read, but WannaCry and this most recent breach kind of reminded me of Mr. Robot. Have you ever seen that show?
I have seen Mr. Robot.
Okay, good. We got that. We've had a couple of days where we just weren't syncing on iTunes so far. I was going to think, but I love Mr. Robot. And when I started watching it, I watched season 1, and I got a little, drawn out from it as season 2 went on. I felt like they were trying hard, but as we work in this industry, it became much more relevant, and so I found a way to really enjoy it a lot more. So I watched through it, and that's all I thought about. These hacks that go on, the WannaCry thing was really under the radar. Again, I won't get too far into it. I think there was, quoted it before, I wish I had the numbers. There was a lot of money stolen from a lot of different businesses, and it did a lot of damage. And it's one of those things where these hackers are just proving their power. They're hacking these major corporations, and these guys who should have the most high-tech cybersecurity platforms are unable to deny these hacks. And it's something that we here at UGA pride ourselves on as the cybersecurity aspect of our business. And there's obviously other cybersecurity businesses out there that are going to, rely on their skill set and their platforms to be able to prevent such things. But I don't know, when I see these hacks, it still always surprises me that there's just, the bad people are smarter than the good people, it seems like, in certain aspects. And, who knows who these hackers are. And Mr. Robot, the kid was kind of sketchy, but he was also working for one of the biggest conglomerates in the world in the show. And it's probably what it takes to be one. You're working somewhere big, you're learning, and I don't know. But.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say they never catch the hackers.
Right.
I even read one story where, we caught him.
Right. What are you going to, your computer gets hacked. What are you going to call the cops? Hey, man, I don't know. Who do you call? What do you do?
Yeah, they don't have there's no government, really, security or law enforcement towards that.
Right. It's a weird, I literally wouldn't know who to contact, how to have any sort of legal case on it. So we'll do a little more digging into that topic, and we'll have some more for you in the next few weeks. But again, like I said in the beginning of this, I wanted to introduce what we're going to talk about in the following weeks. On our next episode, we're going to discuss Exchange on-premise versus Office 365, kind of a new school versus old school thing, cloud, on-prem, updates and upgrades at your constant abilities versus, one set platform that requires some maintenance here and there on your own. Again, we're going to dig a little further into it.